Ma'am, your good name is?
Lifestyle coach.
Okay.
Just say that because I don't. Well, they take it from Facebook. That's where they take everything about you. Took
Amanda
it out.
Valley, right?
Yeah.
Amanda Valley.
Yeah.
Then Richo.
She's not here.
Okay.
Yes, I do work there. I recently just switched my
Sound नहीं आ रहा है?
from the plant
Hello.
back to the office. So, and I moved to Darlington instead of Pickering.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'll check that. Hello, hello. ठीक है? Hello, hello. Oh,
Yeah, I know.
sorry. We'll start the session, ma'am.
Can you start? You need to put that back to the beginning. You need to stop it and not have it on continual play
Yes,
It's not
ma'am.
gonna
I'll
work.
play it.
before you start recording. Yeah, well, it's all of us, right? It's something that all women struggle with.
We'll start like this, ma'am. We'll
Okay.
start with the background.
And then you
Then
put it
I'll
on
come.
full screen.
Exactly, exactly.
And I can
Yes, ma'am.
read my notes.
Please feel comfortable, ma'am.
Yeah.
Oh,
And do you want me to sit?
Yeah, good morning. Today's the session, the Bliss Happiness Solution. Can women really have it all? So the lead speaker is Amanda Willett, who is present with us. Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
And so we are going to start it. Okay, please.
Great. Well, good morning, ladies. Thank you for joining me here today. So today's presentation is on the topic of can women have it all? I think it's been long awaited a debate among all women. And I guess really what I want to say is, what is your opinion on women having it all? Do you think it's possible? Next slide. I'm going to tell you when to click the slides because this isn't working. So how many of you are struggling to balance your career, family, and whatever else finds its way into your juggling act? How many of you can say that when you're spending time with family and friends, you don't hear a loud, annoying voice in your head reminding you of the endless to-do list? How many of you feel guilty because you know you have a limited time to complete what you desperately hope will be an award-winning performance every day? But you know when the curtain drops, despite your best efforts, you will have left something or someone out. Research consistently shows that this quest for perfectionism is related to our unhappiness, distress, and our inability to successfully pursue our goals. Our true priorities and values will emerge when we hang up our cape and allow ourselves to simply be instead of consistently whittling down our to-do list. Carving out downtime is the utmost important as it allows us to recharge our batteries. So if you've abandoned yourself in the effort to keep anyone or anything else happy, you need to unlearn this pattern. Society dictates a very specific path that women should take. And can you go back, please? And when a woman doesn't fit that traditional mold, people wonder why. Underlying these components is the mindset driving many women who think that they're failing if things aren't perfect. It took me years to realize how destructive the pursuit of perfection really is. Thinking you have to do things perfectly and or be perfect is like carrying around a heavy weight on your back, and it absolutely crushes our happiness. According to researcher Professor Dr. Breen Brown, perfection is correlated with depression, anxiety, addiction, and life paralysis of missed opportunities. The fear of failing, making mistakes, not meeting people's expectations, and being criticized keeps us outside of the arena where healthy competition and striving unfolds. Ultimately, having it all needs to be self-defined. For me, it's about having choices. You know, I totally get that we are all out just to get a really good dose of the extraordinary life. And the secret sauce to having it all, the one that they do not teach us in school, is self-renewal, which translates to radical self-care and extreme self-love. Truth, the path to self-love starts with recognizing no one is responsible for your happiness but you. Self-love, by definition, is a regard for one's own well-being and happiness. Sounds like bliss, right? Better yet, when you practice self-love, you're more likely to choose the right vocation, the right partner, and more likely to find bliss in the present moment. Knowing that when your best interests guide your decision-making, you are listening to what you really want and really need in this moment. In a world where the professional and personal demands of our lives often collide and compete, we often long for a sense of balance and stability. Truth be told, perfect balance will never exist. It's a myth, and chasing after it will only lead to frustration and dissatisfaction. Before you can begin to thrive personally and professionally, you need to identify and prioritize what matters most to you. What's important to you, such as your family, your friends, your spirituality, your career, your freedom, your personal development, and your fun. And you need to ask yourself, are you nurturing each and every area of this week, each day, each week, and each month? And what needs more attention in your life? Or what can you do to make bliss happen? So what would having it all look like to you? Would you be disconnected, exhausted, sleep deprived and stressed, prematurely aging, catching every cold going around, spending most of your time doing things for everyone else in an effort to keep everyone else happy, yet leaving little time for yourself? I doubt it. So why are so many of us living this way? If we want to enjoy a blissful life, we have to become intentional about cultivating rest and play. We must learn to let go of exhaustion as a symbol of productivity and self-worth, according to Breen Brown. How often have you found yourself thinking or saying the following? I wish I had more time for myself. I need more hours in a day. I'm so busy, I don't have a moment to breathe. I don't have time for that. Although we may agree self-care is important, we often feel that giving ourselves permission and making it a priority will take away from our work. So we push it aside, and it often leads to burnout, depression, broken relationships, and bad leadership in the long run. Contrary to popular beliefs, self-care, which is a form of self-love, actually increases our capacity to show up as our best self and consists of where you are or who you are. Understand that your career and your life has seasons. It's not all about today. I see too that there are life priorities that emerge at certain ages, and those priorities shift over time. Juggling children and a career is an intense challenge when they're little, and a different type of experience when they are teens, and a completely different one yet when they are older adults. See your life as a linear experience, but as one that will ebb and flow, change, and morph over time. Do you think it's possible to shift your thinking about having it all to doing what it takes to frame your life in a way that you love? What's a more positive way to frame how you think about your life? A more positive approach is to adopt a mindset of, I know what matters most to me, and I'm honoring that every day with every choice that I make. That is the art of sacred self-love and the key to true happiness. Stop thinking about defining life in terms of having it all, because that leads you to think you've ended up with nothing. Think instead about what you've already created in your life and how to enjoy and appreciate that more, and build on it to pave the way for greater happiness and success on your own terms. Where you are today is your all. So these are 5 steps that I've created to getting clear on what your life and having it all could look like for you. So step 1 is getting clear on what your ideal lifestyle looks like. We all need to have a vision. And when you break down what you really want, you're better able to take the steps to make it happen. Next slide. Step 2 is about getting on purpose. So to be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. What brings you joy? And how does your work and life support that? What are you passionate about? When you do what makes you happy on purpose, you'll increase your confidence, feel more fulfilled, and you'll make better decisions about where to spend your time and energy. Does that make sense? You can inquire within and ask yourself, do I love the destination I am traveling to? My big goals. Being mindful. You can inquire within and discover what feels good and what feels bad. And here are 2 questions to get you started. If I only spend time doing things that I truly love, what would I stop doing immediately? And what would I be doing much more of instead? Write down everything that comes to you for at least 10 minutes. When you have the time, maybe after this session. Yes, 10 minutes. If you don't have 10 minutes to reflect on your life, then seriously, all the more reason why you should be doing this journaling exercise. Yes, this is potentially confrontational, which is exact reason why you should be doing this exercise. Step 3 is about dividing your life into ideal categories. Your family, your friends, your health, your wealth, your spirituality, your hobbies, whatever categories feel right for you. When you have everything laid out in categories, you can look at each one and compare how close you are to your ideal life. You can ask yourself, again, do I love the journey to get there enough? Once you know that, ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to get started to get me closer to my ideal in each and every one of these areas of your life? Step 4 is about creating the space. And one of the top people in personal development, Darren Hardy, is somebody who I follow, and I use his principle of the 90-minute rule. So if you haven't ever heard about that, you should definitely look into it. It's about decluttering your life and getting rid of anything that distracts you and confuses you. So anything that drains your energy and keeps you from doing what matters most, which keeps you from creating a life that you love. So we're talking about your mind. Perhaps you need to do some shifting in your thoughts and thinking. We're also talking about technology and social media and anything else that may be a time waster or may be preventing you from moving forward. And step 5, which is a really important one, is about managing your energy, because your health is your wealth. So maintaining healthy habits that requires a commitment for your vitality. Because when you're not feeling fully alive and energized, it's easy to slip back into unhealthy habits. That's why it's so important to make conscious choices every day. Start with the basics, including healthy eating, getting the right amount of sleep, eating clean, and drinking lots of water, as well as being physically active. It's important to find time to relax and recharge, and to enjoy hobbies. Step 6 is about being compassionate about yourself. We as women are very, very hard on ourselves, as we've learned very much during this conference. Be authentic and stay true to you. When your thoughts and actions conflict with your truth, you waste your precious time and energy, and you tarnish your reputation. By increasing your level of integrity in thought, word, and deed, you will transform all of your relationships, including the one with yourself. Step 7 is about being grateful for what your current lifestyle really does allow you. I think if we look into our current lives, we can always find something to be grateful for, and it's very important to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. What you focus on expands, so choose love versus fear. Ask yourself, where in my life is my ambition healthy and a driving positive force? And what elements of your life would you opt not to change, even if you could? What parts are pretty damn near perfect? We spend a lot of time trying to change ourselves when a lot of what we want is often right under our noses. Sure, you might prefer to be reading books on the beach without a care in the world, but perhaps you're best spent time with your family. In summary, if you want to do more in less time, carve out me time, and still be effective on your journey to attaining happiness and bliss, then you need to come to the realization that nobody is responsible for your happiness but you. So take responsibility, begin where you are, create the space, get clear on your ideal lifestyle, and prioritize what's important to you. Create daily rituals, practices, mindfulness, and make me time and self-care a non-negotiable. Manage your energy, make your well-being a priority, give up what is no longer serving you, and develop new habits. Say no to things that don't nourish you. Something that I've adopted is your urgency is not my emergency. That is one of my mottos. Avoid multitasking, ask for help, and delegate so you can focus on using your unique gifts to serve the world. Start each day with a grateful heart, accept and deal with challenges as they arise, and remember to celebrate all your successes, big and small. Remember, doubt, fear, and procrastination kill more dreams than failure does. You can either live in a surviving place or a thriving place. You can do the same old things and get the same old results. Or you can choose to stop waiting for someone or something to light your fire, because you already have the match. Everything you need to live an extraordinary life is already inside you. You are a hot commodity in terms of supply and demand. Treat yourself as such. Thank you. No. Worst presentation I've ever done. I'm not kidding you.
I liked it. That
And
was really
why?
good.
Because I'm missing half my notes. So right from
You know what? Being here, seeing that for the first time, I thought you did a
No, but right from the beginning, the first part of my presentation, I didn't even do.
Yeah, comments, ma'am.
You're not still recording, I hope. Please edit all that.
I think you were. I thought that was amazing. I loved all the different topics that you had and the different questions and advice you gave everybody. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you for supporting me and being here today. And I'd love to hear your definition of having it all.
Having it all. Well, I focus on, I kind of categorize myself because when I look at what it means for me to be balanced, I have to look after my emotional health, my physical health, my intellectual health, my financial, my spiritual health. So in having it all is being able to find a balance or a lifestyle that allows me to keep in the forefront each of my, I refer to as my 5 pillars. And within each of those pillars is family, is your friends. So being able to have my, like my emotional well-being, then how do I present myself and show up for my family or my friends and the work that I do or the clients that I have. So for having it all is being able to have, I guess, a piece within each of my categories and also allowing myself just to be human. You know, some days I'm just not in a good mood, you know, and then how do I process that as well? So having it all isn't just about that money concept or having all those materialistic things.
Right.
It's about being able to have a knowledge of my inner self
Right.
and a love for that inner self and then how I present that to the world as well.
So I think, if I can just continue on with what you're saying, I think we'd all agree that having it all really is self-defined, just like we all have our own definition of success. And a lot of people relate success, being successful, to having it all. But I truly believe, and I don't know if you agree, that balance is a myth. I think as women that, you know, the juggling act of trying consistently to balance everything in every area of our life is what is leading to our dishappiness, our burnout, our depression, and as I spoke about, perfectionism. That's like the #1 killer, is us trying to balance it all and be that perfect role model and mother and lover and teacher and wife and friend. It's hard.
That's what people are thinking now. It's having it all that's what people are thinking now is having it all means all of that, right? So
Right.
really, to me, it all ends up just being happiness within yourself.
Right.
So when you wake up every day and you feel happy and content with yourself, that's all
Yes.
that really matters, because we get so caught up that we want to have, you know, be the best this and do the best that. And we
Right.
get so caught up with society and that's how it has to be. But in the end of the day, if we're just grateful in ourselves and what we've got, and
Right.
then anything else is just gravy, then, you know, it works out that we do have it all, right?
Right.
We don't
and-
have to get so caught up in it. And I think you talked a lot about that, and you brought that up too, you know, that it is about that inner self, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I really truly believe that all success in life has to start with you. And, you know, mastering the art of what I call sacred self-love is really the key to everything we do. So it's honoring where you're at, having compassion for yourself, and, you know, recognizing that not everything's going to be perfect. Like that's really just the way it is, and getting over the judgment of not only judging yourself, but worrying about other people judging you and that you're not being the perfect mom, the perfect wife, the perfect role model, the perfect speaker, which today, as I said, has been a challenge for me. I got off to the wrong start today, but I am very happy to be here at the conference, and I loved sharing with you women. Would you like to give your definition of having it all?
I think for the larger time, it was a bit of a struggle to find my balance. I was always either guilty for not being enough or not being good enough,
Right.
if we may say that. And from that perspective, I am at a much better place now because I've learned to let go of the guilt and forgive myself and accept what I do and where I cannot be complete or my definition or somebody else's definition. So I just go by what is and just leave it at that because that's more satisfying than to beat yourself down constantly trying to get to someplace else. And I think I really loved your presentation and I'm so glad I made it.
Oh,
So
thank
yes,
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your support, ladies. Thank you.
So I thank Miss Amanda Willett. Thank you for being here, and thank you for each and everyone, those who have came here. And it's a great pleasure that we all shared your views and your comments, everything. Thank you for everything. Have a great time, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a picture with you guys? It happens. Yeah, sorry, it's not off. Yeah, I could send you like my son's statue. I just take her pictures. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, share your jeans. Like this is my roommate. That is so cool. Manisha and everybody at Save for their time. Oh no. No, sorry. Like I said, I'm kind of flashy. In the restaurant, I couldn't get anything to work on the list. I cut my foot open. No, that's not the issue. I'm just ticked off that I put the effort into preparing for this and then. I know. You guys took something from it, but. You guys had breakfast yet, or? Yeah, I did. Oh, I didn't. Oh, please go ahead. Because I've been reading the papers here. Would you like to join me for coffee, or you got somewhere else to go? Yeah, I'll come up for it. I'm with her. But I did see there was an article about. That's my roommate. Oh, right. How it struggles. So it may have been your husband or son. Yeah. But it's still the difficulty of registering yourself for school because you don't have a husband. Right, you don't have that man leave. And there was different things like that. So they're writing. You're gonna edit that, right? No, that was live. So I had contacted the woman we stayed with in Jaipur. Edit. Because she was familiar with one of these